LCS students, it's Mrs. Peterson here. Today we're going to be making artwork that has concentric circles, like Vasily Kandinsky's color study, squares with concentric circles. So let's get started. The first thing we need to do is we need to make our paper a square instead of a rectangle. So I am going to take my paper and I'm going to take one corner of my paper and I'm going to fold it all the way down to the bottom so that I get a diagonal line. Once my bottom edges are touching, I'm going to fold my paper, and then while it is still folded, I'm going to take a pair of scissors and I'm going to cut this line right here. So I'm cutting my paper and I'm turning it into a square. Now, when I open my paper back up, I will have a square piece of paper, and that's what we need for this project. Once I have my square, I'm going to get a pencil and I'm going to write my name, and I'm going to write my room number on the back of my paper, and then I'm going to flip my paper over so that I can't see my name anymore. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to fold my paper again so that I have 4 squares. So I'm going to take my paper and I'm going to fold it down, and I'm making sure the edges are touching. Then I'm going to fold it back open, and then I'm going to fold it the other way. And now I have 1, 2, 3, 4 squares. Inside of each square, I'm going to draw a concentric circle. Remember, a concentric circle is a circle that starts in the middle and it gets bigger and bigger circles as it goes out. I'm also going to try to use a variety of different colors so that my circles are not the same. And I'm just going to be using crayon for this project. So I'm going to start my first square. I'm going to draw a circle and color it in as best as I can. And then I'm going to get a different color. And I'm going to just keep doing the same thing. I'm making another circle. I like to draw the circle and then go back in and color it in. Then I'm just going to keep going. I'm going to make another circle. And color that in. I'm going to keep making circles until I run out of space. So it looks like right now I have room for one more circle on my paper after I color in this red circle. So let me get one more color. And yeah, I have room for one more. If you notice, I'm only drawing the circle in my first box, my first square. I'm not going in any of the other squares yet. So then there's my last circle. And I'm just going to color this one in. Now I'm just going to continue working on making circles inside of each square until I have 4 concentric circle designs on my paper. So once I'm finished here, I'm just going to pick a different color. Remember, I'm trying to use different colors. I'm going to look for the middle. I'm going to put a circle in the middle of this square, and then I'll just keep doing the same thing until all of my squares have circles. Now I have 4 concentric circle designs on my paper. I'm just finishing coloring the last part of my project. Now there are 2 ways that you can finish this project. The first way is you can color the rest of the squares with crayon. So I could just go back in and I could color each square a different color because we have some extra white space on our paper. The other thing you can do is you can use water and watercolor paint to paint around your designs. We've talked before about how crayons are made of wax. And when you put watercolor paint on top of the waxy crayons, it will not stick. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use watercolor paint, and I'm going to paint each square a different color. So I'm going to pick my first color. I think I'm going to do yellow, and I'm just gonna paint my square yellow. Remember to give your paintbrush a bath as often as you need to. I can also go back in and just paint on top of all of the crayon if I want to, because the yellow paint will not stick to the crayon. It's up to you how you would like to finish this. See how the yellow paint is not sticking to the red crayon? So now I have one finished, and I can go on to my next color. Try to pick 4 different colors when you paint, or as I said, you could always color this too. So I did yellow here, so maybe I'll do green for this one. So I'm gonna start my green, and I'm just going to keep painting until my whole paper is filled up. I've now finished painting all of my squares different colors, and I love how this design turned out. It's so bright and colorful. Just to review, we folded and cut our paper to make a square, and then we made 4 smaller squares. In each of these squares, we drew a concentric circle design, which means I started with a small circle in the middle and made bigger circles around that. We were inspired by the artist Vasily Kandinsky and his artwork, Color Study, Squares with Concentric Circles. Thanks so much for making this fantastic art project with me. I'll see you soon.